Armchair.
Well, the season's finally here, and the players hit.
The Armchair Quarterbacks are back. Saturday, September 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you'll be tailgating with the Armchair Quarterbacks. Mac Magee, Brian Snow, Joey and Tones, and the rest of the Armchair Quarterbacks live, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Saturdays this fall. Talking college football, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, the NFL, fantasy football advice, and our picks against the spread. It all begins September 9th, right here on Braves Country HD, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
Yeah, the Armchair Quarterback, the All-American man.
Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes, not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium. His record, pure gold. His courage, pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, closed to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine.
Armchair
presents the world's first star in your own radio commercial. Okay, guys, whenever you hear this sound, insert your name.
Hi there.
Braves country.
Sorry I'm late. Sometimes there just aren't enough hours in the day to be a neurosurgeon and a swimwear model. Oh, am I thirsty? How about it?
Braves country.
Got anything tall and cool? Oh, those.
Braves country.
You are so thoughtful. But of course,
Braves country.
the first choice for every occasion. You know, I have a confession to make. If I ever had a son, I'd want to name him
Braves country.
Oh,
Braves country.
come here. Now.
Braves country. Braves country. Braves country.
Well, you did very well in your first commercial.
Braves country.
Have a...
Braves country.
You've earned it.
Armchair.
Braves country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@Braves Country. Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey, Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Well, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Hey, Braves Country! Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Hi, I'm Mac Magee, and we'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch of your Atlanta Braves. It's free to listen. Please like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@Braves Country. Braves Country Baseball for the fans, by the fans.
You're in Braves country.
Good evening, Braves Country. We won't do a real long show tonight. About 15-20 minutes to get you fired up, ready for game number 2, the Atlanta Braves. We're going to be wearing our Saturday night specials, as I like to call them. The white pants, the white shirt with the light blue sleeves, the City Connects, the ones that were inspired by the Hank Aaron era Atlanta Braves, I should say. So we'll be having those kicking tonight, and probably one of my favorite uniforms, and I never thought I'd say that because most of the City Connects are garbage around the major leagues. The Braves finally got their City Connect. I guess it was last year was the first time, because they've slowly been rolling them out, so not every team in Major League Baseball has them. I'm a big fan of the, I call them the Thank God It's Friday jerseys, the ones they've been wearing for years, long before City Connect was ever a term. But those red jerseys, I like those. I've got a couple of those as well. And tonight, we are going to be, hold on tight, Braves Country. It's Cheerios night. Yanni Chirinos will take the mound. And what that tells me is not that the Braves can't win, it's that we're going to have to score. We are going to have to score. Yanni Chirinos, I mean, he serves up a big old dish of suck sometimes, let's be honest. He's not the best pitcher in the world. He will eat innings. What I do like about him is that he's a perfect guy to put in the bullpen. They just haven't done it yet. When we get rosters expanded, I think that's the end of the Cheerios experiment. He's got to make it through. If you look at I thought they actually might even think about skipping him this time around, but they went ahead and ran the 5-man rotation. With the day off, you could skip, but when you got the lead the Braves do, I think they prefer to have everyone have an extra day off. But if you play this out, as we're sitting here on August 19th, his next time through the rotation would be scheduled for next Friday. That would be in San Francisco, and this team will have seen him twice in a week. That's a little scary considering the fact what happens to him most of the times when a team sees Cheerios twice in a night, 2 times through the lineup. So we'll see if they end up sticking with him. I think if he goes out there and gets blown up, he could very well get DFA'd. He will have done essentially what the Braves wanted him to do, which was eat some innings in late July, early August. If he pitches fair, they could do 1 or 2 things next time around, excuse me. If you pitched him when he's due to pitch, Cheerios is going to face the Giants 2 times in a week, and then the third time before September 1st hits would be in Colorado. That is hold on tight because we better score some runs when he's on the bump. If they decide to go a different route, they bring someone else up to start those. I would prefer that, but that would mean you would either send somebody else down and put Cheerios in the bullpen, or you DFA him and say to hell with him, we don't need him. I don't think they really want to do that if they don't have to, because he is an important piece that you could use in September when you're trying to eat innings away, salt innings away. I don't necessarily think he's going to be on the playoff roster, but stranger things have happened because of injury, right? Or guys just not being effective. But tonight, we look at Cheerios and we see him coming out, the 5.22 ERA. I mean, if I just dropped you in right now on planet Earth, you'd been on an expedition for several years, and you looked at the matchup, you'd say, my God, are we in trouble? 5.22 ERA. His matchups, outings that he's had for these Atlanta Braves. Go through that real quick. And when we picked him up from Tampa Bay, look, the first outing that he does for Atlanta is against Milwaukee. He gets 3 2/3, 4 earned runs. Braves won the game, so no one complained. The next outing, he goes 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 hits given up, 1 walk. Nobody really complained because the Braves won the game. Their offense blew up and scored 12 runs. They blew up and scored 10 with Milwaukee. Next time out, 5 innings, 6 earned runs. Nobody complained because he won the game, though we could all see the writing on the wall going, good Lord, this guy is not good. But the last time out, 4 2/3, 6 earned runs. We all complained because we lost to the sorry Mets. That's basically what happened. He has given up in 4 outings. 4 outings. First of all, he's only pitched just over 18 innings in those 4 outings. So you're talking about averaging just under 5 innings an outing. But in those 18 innings, he has given up 19 runs. He's given up 4 home runs. Now, those were all to Pittsburgh. The one thing he did do against the Mets is he did keep the ball in the park. But let's just call it what it is. This is going to be a rough one. The Braves bats better go out there and bang. This can't be a night where it's going to be low scoring if we're going to have a chance to win. Now you go back the other way and you see Logan Webb. Logan Webb comes in 9-9. That's not going to blow you away, but he has a 3.26 ERA, a 1.07 WHIP. He's a heck of a pitcher. He just doesn't get a lot of run support because the Giants don't score a lot of runs. They might tonight versus Cheerios, but typically they don't score a lot of runs. You look at what he has done recently, Logan Webb. He went 8 2/3, gave up one against Texas. Pretty darn good offense, right? Almost a complete game. He went up against the Angels in Anaheim. 5 2/3, 1 earned run. Versus Arizona, another good offense. 7 innings, 2 earned. Versus Boston, 7 1/3, 3 earned. He did get bombed in Washington, but that's more the outlier. That's just a night where he didn't have it. That's what we have to hope for. That tonight he just doesn't have it. In that game in Washington, they lost 10-1. He gave up 6 runs in an inning and a third. But outside of that, since the beginning of, we'll just say beginning of July, 6 2/3 versus Seattle, that was a quality start. Colorado at home, shutout, complete game shutout, quality start. Cincinnati, 7 2 earned, quality start. Boston, 7 3 earned, quality start. Arizona, quality start. Los Angeles Angels, just 1 out shy of a quality start, but only gave up the 1 run. And then, of course, last time out 8 2/3 and 1 earned. So since July, since the calendar flipped over to July, this man has gone out there and pitched in 8 games and has given 6 quality starts. And the 7th, he only missed an out away and only gave up the 1 earned run. He only had the 1 bad outing against Washington. We have to hope that's what he has tonight because he's going up against the best offense in baseball. But Texas has a pretty good offense. Arizona's got a pretty good offense, so he did catch them while they're slumping. Even still, Boston's got a good offense. The Reds have a good offense. He's not pitching against cream puffs. This isn't like some college football schedule where you can pick it apart and go, well, yeah, they're playing well, but look, they've played Montana Navy State Central 17 times in the last 20 games. It's not that situation. These are all major league teams, but it's also the fact that these are majority of his matchups have been tough matchups. So Logan Webb, what you're going to see is a guy that likes to keep the ball on the ground. He will go out and strike you out. Looking at the average since July, since we chose that, he averages about 7 strikeouts a game. I don't think he'll get 7 against Atlanta. I think it'll be closer to the 5 mark, but he will strike you out. We have to run his pitch count up. You can do that a number of ways. You can try to take pitches early on, or you can just start spraying them. We know that most of the Braves hitters are not very patient, and they'll come in just horns coming out, ready to swing. That's what I expect. Because of that, I kind of expect Logan Webb to take advantage of that. He's a veteran. He's got really good stuff. And I think we're looking at a game where it's going to be tough to get the W as long as he's in the game. If they have a good lead, they've got a good back of their bullpen, it's going to be good night, Irene. Yanni Chirinos somehow has to go out because you know they're going to send him through the lineup twice. You know they are. He's got to find a way to limit the damage. Keep the Braves within shooting distance when we get to the later innings. If we can put some runs on, if we can have a tie game going down the stretch, advantage Braves. But if we're having to climb out and they got their full arsenal, which they do, they didn't use anybody last night of note because they were trailing. Then this is going to be a tough one. We knew this coming into the series. We talked about this in the series preview on Friday. This is going to be the most difficult matchup on paper. They don't play the games on paper. They play them inside your YouTube sets. But Logan Webb is a really good pitcher. He's been a really good pitcher for a long time. He's only 26. I swear it feels like the kid should be in his early 30s because he has been on the scene probably since about 21, 22 years old. And that's why it feels like he's been better, been around or should be older than what he really is. You know, I'm never going to pick the Braves to lose, but I don't love our chances. I definitely wouldn't put any hay on it. But with the matchup in front of us, I'm looking at a couple of guys that are going to be in the lineup tonight that could probably feast on him. Well, feast might be a bad use of words. Take advantage of their strengths and go after his weaknesses. And he is normally around the zone, so that helps you out quite a bit. Not only is that the case, but if his sinking pitches catch any kind of air, the Braves can take advantage. So I point to a guy like Matt Olson, who plays perfectly into his game planning. Even Eddie Rosario. I know a lot of us have been questioning Eddie Rosario, but with the bat, he's been pretty hot recently. And he's a guy that could take advantage. If that sinker doesn't sink, just like last night, Eddie got that RBI single on a sinker that didn't sink. And so when we're looking at this and seeing, well, how is this going to play out, trying to get, because the thing is with him, and I think the one thing that the Braves do have a little bit of an advantage of is because of their power, they don't have to string together multiple pitches. But Logan Webb typically goes with his changeup, his hard sinker, and his slider. Those are his main three pitches. His sinker is going to come in around 92, 93. Sometimes it'll even touch a little higher. Well, for argument's sake, we'll say 92. He's going to set that up, pitching backwards and forwards with the changeups and the sliders. The changeup is about 5 to 6 miles an hour slower than the sinker. And then, of course, the slider is about 8 to 10 miles an hour slower, but it's also fading away from the right-hander, diving into the left-hander. So with that repertoire, that pitching repertoire, I'm going to take my pick to click. Hit the nail on the head last night with Michael Harris, but I'm not going to go to the well twice. So, I have not picked him in a long, long time. Something tells me that he can get that he can take advantage of the situation. Give me Eddie Rosario to click. That's number one. I hope Nicky Lopez just gets a hit or gets on base somehow. That's all. If Nicky Lopez gets on base one time a game, then we're happy. Because for whatever reason, they're not giving Vaughn Grissom any chance to play the field. They have no faith in him defensively. So he's basically just up from the farm to basically put up his heels and watch how professionals go about their business. I'm hoping we get to see Vaughn Grissom in the near future, but it's looking very Charlie Culberson like. He is not in the lineup again tonight. But give me Eddie Rosario to click. I do think Yanni gets through the first two times through the order, and then there's probably going to be big trouble. But if the Braves defense can come through, maybe the Giants offense gets a little impatient. Maybe we can get through to the bullpen with either a lead or at least a puncher's chance. And I'll take the Braves to win a tight one. But it's going to be a high-scoring game if we have any chance of winning this. The over-under is 9.5. I'm going to go a touch above that. Give me the Braves to squeak one out 6-5. And Eddie Rosario is the player of the game. Travis d'Arnaud is going to have to burn me. I've gone to him too many times recently, and he has just been Dudsville. sitting 255. I can't kill him because he doesn't get at bats every day, but I'm not going to pick him to cluck. And Orlando Arcia, his batting average has been plummeting. I've got to see him get off the schneid before I even think about going to him. Plus, I like my chances. Eddie hitting in the 6th spot, left-handed bat. Comes right after Ozuna. Sometimes there's a little bit of a letdown from a pitcher because they're like, oh, thank God we got around Riley, Olsen, Ozuna, and then you just lay one in there and goodbye. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, lineups, national anthem, and hopefully another Braves W as we have a chance to win the series tonight and not screw around and wait till tomorrow where Max Fried will be on the bump. Let's get it. Get your game face on.
You can't drink like me. You can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary, and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season, and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Touch them all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
A room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive, let's see it. 1 run is in. Here comes Braves. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
You're in Braves country.
We're down to 1 strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball. Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. We are live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing right field for your Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr., 27 home runs, 73 RBI, 55 stolen bases, batting .334. Michael Harris II, patrolling center field and batting second for your Atlanta Braves. He has 11 home runs, 37 RBI, 17 stolen bases, batting .291. Austin Riley, batting third, playing third. He has 77 RBI, 2 stolen bases, and a .280 average. Matt Olson, playing first base and batting cleanup with 43 home runs and 108 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .271. Marcell Ozuna, the designated hitter, 24 home runs, 60 RBI, and a .246 average. Eddie Rosario is in left field with 18 home runs, 58 RBI, 2 stolen bases, and a .251 average. Travis d'Arnaud, behind home plate with 9 home runs, 29 RBI, and a .255 average. Orlando Arcia, batting eighth and playing short. He has 13 home runs, 44 RBI, 1 stolen base, batting .280. Nicky Lopez is playing second base, batting ninth, batting .229 on the year, 1 home run, 21 RBI, and 5 stolen bases. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves tonight, it's Yonny Chirinos. He's 5-5 with a 5.22 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, 81 innings pitched, 84 hits allowed, and 49 strikeouts. 26 walks versus 14 home runs given up. He'll be going head-to-head with Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants, who's 9-1 with a 3.26 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 163 innings pitched, 157 strikeouts, 149 hits allowed, 26 walks, and 17 home runs given up. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate, tonight it'll be DJ Rayburn. Angel Hernandez is the first base umpire. Second base will be manned by James Hoy, and down the third base line, it's John Lipka. Expecting mid-80s temperature here at Truist Park at first pitch here in Atlanta, Georgia, which has a capacity of 41,149. Atlanta Braves come into tonight 79-42 on the year, 41-20 at home. San Francisco Giants 64-58, 29-30 on the road. Atlanta Braves are minus 120 on the money line. The over-under is 9.5. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves-Giants. Game 2 of a 3-game set as Atlanta tries to win the series tonight. Get your game face on, Braves country. Welcome in, Braves country. Hope y'all are having a fabulous Saturday evening. Try to get our ducks in a row here, get everything shared on the screen. Atlanta Braves trying to get that series win already. We laid it out in the pregame if you missed it, but long story short, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. This is a very good starting pitcher going up against, and let's be honest, we're not giving them a very good starting pitcher to go up against. But we hope Yanni's got at his best. Maybe he's got a little extra oomph with them inducting a couple of people, including Rico Cardi, into the Braves Organization Hall of Fame. I know a lot of people think that the Braves started in Atlanta in 1966, but they had many players before. They put a couple other guys in, one from the Boston Beat Eaters, all that kind of stuff. We'll try to get into that as the show rolls along here today. But it was cool to see Rico's speech. I think I think nerves got the best of him. If y'all caught that, if y'all watched any of it, the goofy stuff they do, like the celebrity softball home run contest. I got nothing out of that, but the actual speeches from the former players are pretty cool. I mean, first of all, come on, Frenchie. Softball? You know, and you're playing softball, son? Get it together. Take a hack at a baseball. Atlanta Braves are going to be wearing their City Connects tonight, and the Giants are wearing their grays, road grays, just like last night with San Francisco on the front, outlined in orange. Numbers and letters on the back, same deal. Yanni Chirinos is taking his final warm-up tosses. As we get set here for game 2 of a 3-game set. Game 3 is tomorrow. 1:35 is actual first pitch. Please go ahead and smash that like so we can get that number down quickly. We were at 56. We'll go ahead and put the counter up now. 56 away, excuse me. We're at 44. And Acuna's going to go hit out there. By the way, if y'all missed it last night, the whole thing with Acuna, it was a sticky substance that they said he had on the back of his glove, but it wasn't illegal, and that's why they had him change it. It is baseball time in Braves country, and the first pitch on the way, and Yanni has given up a solo shot. It is 1-0 San Francisco. So already you can imagine the Boo Birds are probably out. I think Braves country, I know I have seen enough of Yanni Chirinos experiment. They're buying innings and whatnot, but he just lays them in there, and that was no exception. It's 1-0 San Francisco. He really puts a lot of pressure on the offense of the Atlanta Braves because we're going to have to score to hang with them. That might as well have been a softball home run derby. The second pitch of the game by Yanni Chirinos is, they're going to say that was right inside there for a strike. We'll take it. It's 0-1. Might have been a touch inside, but nonetheless. Meckler, the hitter, takes the 0-1 pitch down low. It's 1-1. Now we know what most teams feel like when Ronald Acuna Jr. stands in there and slams one out of the building on the leadoff. You're like, what? I haven't even got my hot dog or my beer or whatever I'm munching on in my lap. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Splitter out in front. It's 1-2. Wade Meckler batting .214 on the year. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on that one. And there's one away. So 2 up, 1 down. Braves trail 1-0 after the Lamont Wade home run. A lot of games going on later tonight. We'll keep you updated on that. So it'll be a righty-righty matchup now. And the first pitch on the way from Chirinos is down and away outside to the number 3 hitter in the order, Wilmer Flores. Flores batting .299, 16 home runs. The pitch on the way is down and away, 2-0. The count, 1 down. The pitch well outside, ball 3-0. That one skipped into the dirt. So you got a 3-0 count. Righty-righty matchup. Standing on deck is Jock Peterson. The 3-0 pitch, sinker, just grabs the outside part of the corner, down and away. It's 3-1. Last thing you want to do is walk Flores for Peterson. The 3-1 pitch swung on and tapped foul out in front of home plate and off of Flores' leg. It's a full count. It's 3-2. You got a full count. Jock Peterson standing on deck. Braves trail 1-0 after the leadoff home run by Lamont Wade Jr. Not necessarily a home run hitter, but he does have pop when he can get into one. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swing, and that ball is laced into center field, down for a base hit. Michael Harris, the second, will cut it off before it can get into the gap. And the Giants have 1 on, 1 out, and lead 1-0. So you got a runner on first now and nobody out. And Jock Peterson coming to the plate. Jock Peterson batting just .231 on the year. He does have 11 home runs and a .749 OPS. So he still has the pop. He is a double play candidate as he drags the first pitch foul towards the first base dugout, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Yanni lets it go, swing, and that ball's hammered down the right field first baseline towards right field. It's 0-2. If he can't get the double play here, Conforto stands on deck, 1 down. Flores doesn't run that well. The Giants in general in the middle of the order are not speedsters. The 0-2 pitch. Tried to get him to chase that splitter down and away. It's 1-2. Great to see everybody in the chat. We'll hit roll call here in a second as we go along here. If I miss anybody, just shout back in. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Cheerios strikes out 2, but has given up a home run and a single, and we're 1 out away from getting out of the jam. Roll call. Good evening to Robert, Goat, Dale, AY, happy birthday. I saw that in the chat. Tim, Lion King, Mr. Woodrow, Shannon, Matthew, Gary. First pitch on the way to the number 4 hitter, or 5 hitter in Conforto, is down below the knees for a ball. It's 1-0. I think I said Gary and Matthew. Good evening to Tim, Mark, Raymond. The 1-0 pitch outside for a strike. Just grabbed the corner. It's 1-1. Good evening to Denise. I think that got us just about caught up. And Eric. And Nonchalant. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing! And fouls it away. 1-2. So Conforto, and you'll remember Michael Conforto. It's the same Conforto that played for the Mets for several years. He hit the free agent market just as he got injured, so it really messed him up the last couple of seasons. Why you haven't really heard from him. Good evening to Ray and Game Smart. The 1-2 pitch inside, called strike 3. I don't know about that one, but we'll take it considering who's pitching tonight. Braves get out of the mess. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. How did Mariano Rivera accidentally save the life of one of his teammates? In the 2001 World Series, the Yankees had a 1-run lead against the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the ninth. But in Mariano's second inning of relief, he gave up an RBI double to Tony Womack and a walk-off single to Luis Gonzalez. The planned victory parade in New York was canceled, which meant a change of plans for infielder Enrique Wilson. He was scheduled to leave for his home country of the Dominican Republic 8 days after the World Series, but because the Yankees lost, he moved up his flight a few days. His original plane was American Airlines Flight 587, which ended up crashing and causing the deaths of 265 people. The next year, Rivera talked to Wilson in spring training and told him, "I am glad we lost the World Series because it means that I still have a friend."
My mother always said that she loved to go to church, but not to hear the preacher. She could read her Bible at home, but she could only be in church. And baseball has some of that same sense of peace that has nothing to do with ideology, but simply with ritual, familiarity, small truths, sort of lessons of the day that we're familiar with before, but may get a little more light on them that day.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Yeah, I like that call that Yanni got. The only problem is the 1-0 pitch is right there at the knees. First strike, it's 1-1. They have a much better pitcher on the mound. If he gets those calls, we're going to be in trouble. The 1-1 pitch to Ronnie. Swing and fouls it down the line. It's 1-2. Logan Webb. There have been times where he's been argued to be the best right-hander in the National League. Still just 26 years old. Has had some ups and downs in his career, but has good stuff, as you'll see. We just have to hope he's not having a good night. The 1-2 pitch caught, looking, strike 3. Acuna just froze him. Acuna doesn't look happy about it, but that looked like a strike. 93 miles an hour, just kissed the black of the outside part of the plate, and there's one away. So 4 pitches and a strikeout for Webb. Michael Harris, the second, will come to the plate. Harris takes the first pitch inside for a strike, 93 miles an hour, right down the inside cut, and it's 0-1. The 0-1 to Michael, just below the knees. Good take by Michael. It's 1-1. If you missed the pregame show, the main thing with Webb is he tries to get you not only just the strikeout, but also, man, that is a nasty wiffle ball coming from third base side, coming in and slapping the plate. It's 1-2. They call that a slider, but I'd be checking that ball for holes. That thing was dancing all over the place. The 1-2 pitch, caught looking, strike 3. Harris knew it. Must have been looking for something else. Hopefully, second time around, Ronnie and Michael have a little better luck. So 2 up, 2 down, and both caught looking with the backwards K. And it's Austin Riley's turn. Riley digs in. The first pitch on the way is way outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Austin Riley, 29 home runs, 77 RPI, 853 OPS. The pitch on the way, the 1-0, swung on, grounded over to third, and it's a 5-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down, nothing doing in the first. We'll go back to the field, see if we can shut them down. It's Saturday night in Braves country.
You're a cop, huh? No, what I am, Sonny, is about 50 pounds heavier and one hell of a lot meaner, so you better straighten up your act. I don't think I like it.
It all starts with just one thing. Get to know your local beekeeper. You can make sure they don't use chemicals in the hive, that they only sell surplus honey, plus locally produced honeys have a smaller carbon footprint. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Fatigue makes cowards of us all. You can't play fatigued. Therefore, it's up to you to be in prime physical condition. I can't put you in physical condition. I can start you. You've got to keep yourself in prime physical condition because a fatigued player is a coward. He can't go 100%.
It is the American game. That's just what it is. And actually, it makes you, I'm 81, but I can feel like I'm 15 when I'm talking baseball. I'm watching baseball. This is it. It does this. It can do this to any man. It brings you back.
You got the winning run on second base. You've got three very good outfielders ready to deploy their arms, a very good base runner in Dansby Swanson, one of the best closers to ever do it in the postseason on the hill, and Eddie Rosario, who is 3 for 4. He stands at the plate, and you can't pitch around him because Freddie Freeman, though he's been a little cold, stands on deck. So let's do it. Here's the first pitch from Jansen. He does that little shimmy on the mound, winds up, and the first pitch is swung on, and it is rifle neck up the middle. It's going to score. It's going to Dansby Swanson's going to come around. It came off the glove. The Braves win. The Braves win. The Braves win. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trail 1-0. We go to the top of the second inning. First pitch on the way from Yanni to the right-handed bat of J.D. Davis, another former Met, is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, high and out of the zone, 93 up top, 1-1. If you're just joining us, Giants scored their run on the first pitch of the game. Lamont Wade Jr. went deep. The 1-1 pitch swung on. That ball is rifled into the gap. It's going to get down for a base hit. Here comes Davis flying around first. He's heading to second, and it's a leadoff double for the San Francisco Giants. Yanni just getting too much of the plate on that one. Braves were playing him in a shift in the infield, but they were playing him to hit away in the outfield, and that came back to bite him as he pulled the ball into the left center gap. So runner on second, nobody out. Sable comes to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch dances inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Sable behind the plate tonight. Did not play in game number 1. Blake Sable, 25 years old. 6'4", big catcher. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, 2-0. From California, drafted by the Pirates in the 7th round in 2019, played college ball at Southern Cal. The 2-0 pitch swung on and grounded foul down the third base line against the shift. Good thing that was foul. That would have been trouble. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Yanni lifts the glove, lets it go way outside wide, 3-1. So you got a 3-1 count now to Blake Sable. Every time I see this kid, I can't help but think of Chris Sabo. And they're not by no means related, but growing up in that era, the 3-1 pitch, check swing, foul towards the third base dugout, kind of ricocheted off his bat, not really a full swing, and it's a full count. That double play, I'm a little surprised that they did not call an infield fly. I saw that last night, the highlights where he let the ball drop. 3-2 pitch, swung on. That's against the defense into left field. Eddie Rosario's got it. Flips it into the infield, and you got runners on the corners and nobody out. I couldn't understand why they didn't call the infield fly rule. And all I saw was the highlights. I didn't see the whole 9 yards. But I also couldn't understand why I didn't see a manager getting ejected after it. I would have lost my cool. That's the whole point of the infield fly rule. So that'll bring the number 8 hitter. You might remember this gentleman, Johan Camargo, to the plate. He takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Camargo batting .429 on the year, just a handful of at-bats. 857 OPS. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled down the line. It's 0-2. It's hard to believe just a few years ago there were people that would stand on the desk telling you that the starting third baseman in Atlanta should be Johan Camargo and they need to move Austin Riley to left field. Then something called 2021 happen and the rest is history. The 0-2 pitch, sawed off foul down the line. We'll do it again. Johan Camargo, this year, just 7 at-bats. He's 4 for 7. Played for Philadelphia last year. Of course, the Braves prior to that, all the way back to 2017. The 0-2 to Johan. Swing and grounds it over to second. Going back against the grain, firing it over to second base for the force out was Nicky Lopez. Good defensive play to get the force. Camargo will be safe at first. There will be an RBI on the fielder's choice as Davis crosses the plate, and it's 2-0 San Francisco. So Nicky Lopez made the best out of a bad situation, but the runners on the corners, if you're listening on radio, the ball was coming very close to getting to the outfield, and he turned and spun and fired a bean over to second base. Nice throw. First pitch on the way from Yanni to the number 9 hitter, Estrada, is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. So this is this week, as the 0-1 pitch swung on and laced down the line, plenty foul, it's 0-2. Tonight, this is a game where they could have skipped Yanni in the rotation because they had the day off on Thursday. Same situation next week. And we are going to be facing these Giants next Friday night. That would be Yanni Chiria's next scheduled start would be next week in San Francisco. The 0-2 pitch off the plate wide, 1-2. After that, if you missed the pregame show, he would be scheduled to pitch in Colorado. I don't want any part of either one of those options. I really hope they do something that doesn't include him being in the starting rotation. The 1-2 pitch from Yanni. Swing and grounded up the middle. Arceus got it, flips it to Nicky. Nicky flips it over to first, and it's a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Kind of fun and he's kind of fat, the all-American man.
My typical favorite shot, honestly, is just old Jack D, ice cold Jack D. But if I'm going to pick like more of like a shooter type of thing, it is the most dangerous one, and I no longer drink it. But man, a good Jaeger bomb.
I was about to say, it's probably got some Jaegermeister.
But I'm going to tell you right now, do a Jaeger bomb nowadays, I'm probably going to end up in divorce court. So, I black out and not only just time travel, I travel. I wake up in other cities. So,
if I remember correctly, you used to like slap your face like Curly, and then you would just do this the shuffle step, and then it was on after that.
Yes.
We went into plan M for McGee.
Yes.
All right, execute plan M. Todd, you get the flanks. If anybody's taller than McGee, get him out now.
Oh, yes.
At least that's how I remember it.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember it, and that's kind of the point.
Checkmate.
Armchair.
To further solidify their control, the owners added a reserve clause to the contracts of the 5 best men on every team. It required that each play only for his current employer and reserved his services for the following year. At first, few complained. To be reserved was to be sure of a job for the coming season. Those who did complain that the reserve clause smacked of slavery, fired, then blacklisted. For the first time in the history of the game, players would serve the interests of the owner. For the next 100 years, the professional game would be dominated by those who owned the field and supplied the ball.
Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Matt Olson will lead us off here. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way to Matty is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. So not too long before the game starts, I'm running around trying to get everything situated. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled down the line. It's 1-1. Feeding the dogs, all that kind of stuff. And I'm always pressed for time at the very beginning because there's a bunch of stuff I have to get done. And I hear the doorbell ring. I was like, geez, Louise, the 1-1 pitch off the plate wide, 2-1. So I go to the doorbell, and the delivery driver had gotten back in her truck, and she was leaving. And it's a 2-1 count to Matt Olson, inside, ball 3-1. And I kid you not, there were 8 boxes the size of my torso or larger at the door, falling all over. I was like, what is going on? The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss, pulled the string on that changeup. It's 3-2. It was waters from Sam's Club, pool floats, and they all showed up at the same time, right before first pitch. I was like, man, where's a porch pirate when you need one? Just come here and grab some of this stuff. The 3-2 pitch, swing, and that ball's hit hard down into right field. A worm burner for the first base hit of the night. Matt Olson gets it going for your Atlanta Braves. 1 on, nobody out. Yeah, Matt Olson's tied with Ohtani. I didn't see what happened in the first game. They were playing a doubleheader today, the Angels. Both the Angels and Dodgers are hosting doubleheaders today because of the hurricane that's about to hit California. So they're playing doubleheaders today, if you're wondering why that is. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Eric, that makes me think that you do. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is laced into right field. Down for a base hit, and the Braves got runners on first and second. Nobody out. Couple of singles. In between, both balls were hit in between the first and second base side. And the Braves got something going here. One swing could really change this game. Single by Olson, single by Ozuna, and Eddie Rosario coming to the plate. Eddie Rosario, 18 home runs on the year. It's be a good time for number 19. First pitch on the way, just inside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 to Eddie. Righty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. Dress right there for a strike. Good changeup by Webb. It's 1-1. Giants 2, Braves nothing. The pitch to Eddie Rosario. Swing and a miss upstairs. Blew it right by him. That is one place that they have figured out, the league has figured out, is a big hole about the size of Swiss cheese in his swing. Is any kind of hard stuff up top, he just normally can't catch up. I don't know why anyone throws him off speed down low. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball is laced into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. A little behind the pitch, but it played out perfectly as Eddie Rosario's got an RBI. It'll turn into a double as it took a while for the left fielder, Jock Peterson. No shock there to get the ball, and the Braves have cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Runners on second and third, and nobody out. How about that? Good piece of hitting by Eddie. They tried to go upstairs again, but couldn't get it quite up as high as the last one. He had just enough bat speed to get around and send it to left field. So nobody out, runners on second and third. And Travis d'Arnaud, and you talk about a guy who's due. I talked about in the pregame show, he is due. He has really been scuffling, but when you don't play every day, it's kind of hard. The first pitch on the way to d'Arnaud is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. We know that when d'Arnaud gets going, he can really light the scoreboard up. But right now, we just need a single to the right side where they are playing him to pull, shading him a bit to pull. The 0-1 pitch off the plate wide, it's 1-1. They're also pitching him out there. That's interesting. If he shoots it to the right side, there is a huge gap down the first base line. A push bunt would score a run. The 1-1 pitch off the plate wide, ball 2-1. It's really interesting that they're playing him to pull, but all three pitches might as well have been in the left-hand batter's box. Camargo and Davis, third and short, are playing pretty honest, but the rest of the infield is the 2-1 pitch is sawed off foul over the first base line. It's 2-2. The second baseman, Estrada, is really close to the second base bag, and then the first baseman, Wade, he is way off the bag. The 2-2 swing, and that ball is punched over to second base right at Estrada, and it's a 4-3 put out for out number 1. Looks like with 2 strikes that they actually changed the defense up and cheated a little more to the right side. Maybe that's their strategy. They think that he's going to shorten his swing up with 2 strikes. I've always thought of Travis d'Arnaud as a guy that hits to the opposite field quite often. If you sail one inside, he'll pull it, but the pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia swung on, grounded over to short. It is deep enough to score the run, and the Atlanta Braves have tied it up. It's 2-2. Good base running by Ozuna. He didn't even blink. They were playing pretty shallow in the infield. Let's call it halfway in. But because the shortstop, Camargo, had to go to his right side to get the ball, Ozuna took off and really never had a chance to make the play. He ended up having to backhand the ball, and Ozuna scores. The game's tied 2-2. We got a brand new ball game. First pitch on the way to Nicky Lopez is up top for us. No, they're going to call that a ball. Not sure about that. They did call it a strike. Okay, he just didn't raise his arm. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and up the middle. Easy ground out. 6-3. We'll end the inning. Lopez down again. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
We have no midsize available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do.
If you grew up in Gen X, you had your parents who told you every single day that you were like 1 second away from being murdered or kidnapped. Every single day. We had to get our fingerprints and our photo taken every school year in case we got kidnapped. And if that wasn't traumatizing enough, they put all the missing kids on the side of our milk carton that we drank at lunch. We had to practice what we would do if we caught on fire because they made it seem like we were going to catch on fire all the time. Every time you got on the escalator with your mom, you were doing something wrong. You were too close to this, your shoe was too untied. They insisted that if we made one wrong move on that escalator, we were going to get sucked down into those metal teeth and like put in like ground beef. I still have anxiety about escalators. They made us think we were going to die all the time.
Armchair.
You have to have moments that give you pleasure with your children or your hobbies or your games. And life can't all be big issues and heart surgery. You need something to give up. Something has to bring joy into the day. I've always thought that the 6 months during the baseball season, there was something in the day that wasn't there the other 6 months in winter. It was not that you had to listen to the game, but that you could if you needed it.
The crowd is on their feet. Christian Yelich, single and a run, very dangerous hitter. Cross everything. We're trying to get one more strike out of Will Smith. Called third strike. He got caught watching the paint dry, and that's it. The Atlanta Braves will head to the National League Championship Series. They knock out the Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves, San Francisco Giants, all tied up at 2. The first pitch on the way from Yanni Chirinos is way outside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 from Yanni lets it fly. Just grabs the outer edge, 1-1. One thing we have seen from home plate umpire DJ Rayburn, he will give the wide strikes east and west. The 1-1 pitch. Swing! That ball's hit high into right field. This time Wade will be retired with a loud but not very long out, number 1. First time up, Wade hit the solo shot to put them on the board. So 1 down. And Meckler, center fielder, will come up to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. Yanni lets it go. Right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Wade Meckler, batting .200. The 0-1 pitch. Just below the knees. Good job by Meckler to lay off of that. Evens up the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, down and away, 2-1. So the first 3 pitches by Yanni Chirinos to Meckler was slider, and then he tried to get him to chase the splitter. Down 2-1. We'll see what they do. Darno set up a little bit outside. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, pulled the string on that change, and it's evens up the count at 2-2. Two count, 1 down. Here comes the pitch. They set up inside this time. Down and in, 3-2. So a full count to Meckler. Not really the hitter you want to be nibbling around. Yanni really needs to be going after him because the strength of the San Fran order is right there in the heart of it. 3, 4, 5, and 6. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Yanni gets a strikeout. 2 away. His 4th strikeout of the night. San Francisco and Atlanta, game 2 of 6 games over the next calendar week. We're in San Francisco next weekend. Late games for that. We will bring them to you. First pitch on the way from Yanni to Flores is off the plate wide for a ball, 1-0. You got the Mets coming into town. Have those games starting Monday, Tuesday night, both 7:20 first pitch. The series out in San Francisco, 10:10 Friday night. The 1-0 tap foul, it's 1-1. Then it's a quick turnaround, a 4 o'clock in the afternoon game, which that was flex. It had been 7 o'clock for almost the entire summer. They changed it about a week or so ago. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It's 1-2. And we are now the Sunday night game next Sunday night. So we'll bring all three of those to you. After that, it's off to Colorado. And then the big series, to me, the biggest one of the year, 4 games in LA. Face the Dodgers. The 1-2 pitch swung on, grounded on the left-hand side, backhanded, making a great defensive play. Off his back foot is Nicky Lopez, and it's a 4-3 putout that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. Braves will grab the bats. Ronald Acuna Jr., Money Mike, and Riley come to the plate.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, last week we were talking about the mouth.
Right.
My girl said you was right, bro. She did some research, and she said it's mice for plural, man.
Hey, bro, I was just trying to help my bro out, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Man. Me personally, mice just sound more natural, bro. But, hey, I guess you was right.
Right.
So when you learn something, you got to pass it down to the youth, right? I go to my sister's house. I holler at my nephew. He 5. I'm bringing it down to him. I'm like, hey, I said, little man, it ain't mice, this is, bro. It's mice, right?
Right.
Mouse, mice.
Right.
Goose, geese, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Moose, meese. It's like, that's a,
wait. You said moose and what?
Oh, moose. For 1 is moose.
Moose, yes.
And for 2 is meese, right?
You said moose and meese?
Yeah.
No, meese is not a word at all, actually. It's already plural and singular.
Damn, man, what's wrong? Why are you doing this, bro?
I didn't create the English language, bro. That's just what I didn't make the rule.
How you know, bro?
Because I went to school.
Armchair.
Always you look for heroes. Always the people look up to see something that represents them, that is larger than they are, and if it's perfect, that they might become. As a young boy, when I was taken to my first game at Yankee Stadium, my God, Yankee Stadium, talk about awesome sights. To see Joe DiMaggio, to whom you could relate without knowing anything about San Francisco or anything else about him, but he was a baseball player. He didn't seem to have any other credential but his ability, and that was sufficient to make him a great hero and a great success, and therefore a great inspiration.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. I'm Mac Magee bringing you the action, and the first pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is off the plate for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, slider snuck in on him, just off the hands, drifting over the plate, 1-1. The 1-1 to Ronnie. Swing, and that ball's rifled over to the third base side. Good scoop by Davis. A hard one hopper. Grabs it, flips it over to first, and it's a 5-3 put out for out number 1. Man, he hit that thing hard. I was hoping that was going to get through, but Davis had just enough time to get over there. So 1 down, and Michael Harris, the second, come to the plate. He had 4 hits last night. A home run shy of a cycle. The first pitch on the way to Harris is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. It is kind of funny how random the cycles are as the 0-1 pitch misses high and out of the zone. 1-1. Very arbitrary, because if a guy goes out and hits as the 1-1 pitch, swung on and taps it foul off his instep, hopping around a little bit, appears to be okay. 1-2. It's funny how arbitrary the cycle is, where we've always kept up with it. But if a guy goes out there and hits 2 doubles and a home run and a triple, you'll get people who will say, man, he almost had the cycle, when realistically he had a much better night. The 1-2 pitch, swung on, grounded over towards short, deep in the hole. Here comes Harris, busting it down the line, and just gets him. A 6-3 put out. Good play by Camargo for out number 2. So 2 down. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley. Top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch swung on and lifted into center field, down for a base hit, and Austin Riley has a 2-out single, and your Atlanta Braves have something cooking here in the bottom of the 3rd. Riley just took it and sent it right back up the middle. That'll put Matt Olson to the plate. Matt Olson stands in. The first pitch on the way is just off the plate. Just grabs the outer part of the zone. I'm going to say that's a strike. It was a 50-50 pitch. It's 0-1. He has been given those wide strikes. The 0-1 to Olson. Pitch on the way. Just grabs the bottom of the zone. 0-2. So 2 well-placed pitches, a slider and a sinker that just grabbed the outer half of the plate. I mean, just nipping the edge, has got Olson down quickly. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch swung on and grounded over towards the first base side. Off his back foot is the second baseman, Estrada. He'll fire it over to first, and it's a 4-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. Braves threaten but fail to score. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Hall of Famer Larry Walker was a big fan of the number 3. He wore the number 33 for his entire career. His first contract with the Expos was $3 million, and the most stolen bases he had in a season was 33. He also got married on November 3rd at 3:33 p.m. His career batting average with the Rockies was .333, and he was the 333rd member of the Hall of Fame.
The final weeks of the 1908 National League season saw a fierce struggle between the Chicago Cubs and their arch rivals, the New York Giants. With the pennant on the line, they met at the Polo Grounds on September 23rd. In the bottom of the 9th, there were 2 outs and 2 men on for the Giants, with the score tied 1-1. Giant pinch hitter Moose McCormick was on third, representing the winning run. Fred Merkle was the runner on first. Al Bridwell, the Giant shortstop, was up to bat. He lined the very first pitch past Cubs second baseman Johnny Evers into center field for a clean single. Moose McCormick lumbered home. The Giants had won the game and most likely the pennant.
Trying to explain the Merkle boner in 25 words or less is like trying to explain relativity to kindergartners. It's a force out, and under the rules of baseball, and this had happened in a game umpired by the same umpire 3 weeks earlier, so Evers knew where he stood. Under the rules of baseball, the play was not completed so long as there was a force out possible, and when the force out concluded, the run that scored didn't count. It ended up determining who won the pennant that year. It also ended up leaving poor Fred Merkle with this eponym created to embarrass and humiliate him and his ghostly presence even to this day.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves knotted up at 2. First pitch on the way from Yanni Chirinos to Jock Peterson is swung on and fouled down the line for a strike. It's 0-1. Jock Peterson struck out his first time up. The 0-1 pitch drifts inside for a ball. It's 1-1. San Francisco jumped out to the 2-0 lead on the 1-1 pitch, swung on and fouled away. 1-2. They scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Braves tied it up with 2 in the bottom of the second. That's where we stand. Yanni Chirinos, 53 pitches as the 1-2 pitch fades out 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Kicks and deals, swing, and that ball's lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit, and it's a leadoff single for Jock Peterson, San Francisco Giants. Get the leadoff runner on with the heart of the order coming up. Michael Conforto will be heading to home plate. Davis moves to the on-deck circle. So Chirinos, this is the second time through the order. You wonder out loud, like, how long do they let him stay in there? Top of the fourth inning, first pitch on the way, swung on, rifled it back foul. It's 0-1. Kind of curious, people in the chat, what they think as far as how long you would let Yanni go. I mean, I personally, one time through the order, I'm ready to get him out, but they're obviously trying to get some length out of him. The 0-1 pitch from Yanni. Runner on first, nobody out. The pitch on the way, just misses the outside. It's 1-1. So you got a 1-1 count. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch to Conforto. Swing, and that ball's grounded through the hole. Just dribbled in between second and first. Runner from first, Jock Peterson's going to make it all the way around to third because it was such a softly hit ball against the shift. It took Acuna a long time to get to it. Peterson hustling the whole way. Runners on the corners and nobody out once again. That ball almost got him. Jock Peterson had to pause in between first and second and still had enough to get all the way down to third. So runners on the corners, nobody out. J.D. Davis at the plate. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss up top. 93, about letter high, it's 0-1. I agree. I would have pulled him. Honestly, I wouldn't have let him start this inning with the heart of the order. The 0-1 pitch just grabs the outer part of the zone. Probably a ball, but we'll take it. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Pitch on the way. Just misses outside, 1-2. Pitch was several inches off the plate. I'm sure they're going, hey, man, you've been giving it to us all night long. Can we get a free strikeout here? So you got a 1-2 count to Davis. Standing on deck is Sable, the left-handed bat from the hind catcher. The 1-2 pitch swung on, hit high and deep into right field, drifting back, making the catch is Acuna. He'll fire it into the infield. Peterson will easily score, but Acuna throws the ball to second, so it keeps the runner at bay there. Giants grab the lead once again. It's 3-2. So 3-2 your score. Runner on first, one out. Sable, the catcher, comes up. He swings and hammers that ball down the right field line. Just foul. Thankfully, it's 0-1. That would have been trouble. Got bad news for you, Braves country. Guess who's behind home plate tomorrow? Angel Hernandez. the 0-1 pitch. Down and away. It's 1-1. He had been suspiciously absent as he was trying to fight off a lawsuit with Major League Baseball. He got resolved the other day. Short of it, they basically said a second time that Angel Hernandez had no lawsuit. He was barking up the wrong tree. He was looking for a payday that wasn't there. So he came back to work. We have not seen him in quite some time doing an Atlanta game, but I noticed the other day that he's lined up to call the plate tomorrow. The 1-1 pitch, down and in for a ball, 2-1. He gets a little bit of a bad rap because there are a lot of home plate umpires that I've seen that are just as bad, if not worse, than Hernandez. But I think Hernandez has famously blown some calls in the field in the playoffs that has really put his name out there. Time is called by Sable. Gets back into the box. The 2-1 pitch. Pitch on the way. Swing. And that ball's lifted down the left field line. Foul. Plenty foul. He gave it a ride. It's 2-2. There was an ALDS. I'm trying to think of when that was. Sometime last decade. It's either 2015 or 2017. I can't. But anyways, he blew 2 calls in that series, and that really put him on the map. Of course, it was in the middle of the beginning of the spike of social media, so it really put him out there, and people have never let go. The 2-2 pitch swung on. That ball's hammered down the right field line. Making the catch in deep right field is Ronald Acuna Jr. for out number 2. Conforto tracks his way back to first base, and there's 2 away. He really put a charge into that one, caught it at the wall. Acuna had to slam on the brakes. Little out in front of that one. But now 2 down. Yanni's at 66 pitches. His last time out, they let him to go into the 5th inning. And that's when things really fell apart. The 3rd time through the order. The first pitch on the way to Camargo is outside for a ball, down and away. It's 1-0. The 1-0 from Yanni. Righty-lefty matchup once again. Pitch just below the knees, 2-0. They rolled him back out there in the 5th inning versus the Mets, and he'd already been kind of getting slapped around like he is tonight. And they rolled him back out there for that 5th inning, and the wheels fell off. He scored 6 runs in that 5th inning that really put the game out of reach. The 2-0 pitch is well inside, ball 3-0. What really drove us nuts as fans is that later in the game, the Braves rallied with their offense and lost that game 7-6. If they just would have pulled them a tad earlier, the Braves probably would have won that game. 3-0 pitch right there at the knees on the outer edge, taken all the way by Camargo, 3-1. The 3-1 count, 2 outs. Darnold set up outside, pitch on the way, well outside, nowhere near the zone, ball 4. So Yanni walks the runner into scoring position. Braves already trail 3-2. That'll bring Estrada to the plate. I'm sorry, that's Estrada. That'll bring Tyro Estrada to the plate. He takes the first pitch way outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Tyro Estrada, 0 for 1. 2 outs, the 1-0 pitch. down and away 2-0. So other than that one strike, he really has been nowhere near the plate. And this inning has really struggled. Kranitz is finally going to go out there and talk to him along with Darnode. While that's going on, we'll go ahead and hit the scoreboard. Toronto leads Cincinnati 4-3, top of the seventh. Detroit 3-1 over Cleveland in the fourth. Seattle 4-1 over Houston in the fourth. There's a perfect game brewing in Minnesota. Still a long way to go in that one, though. They're in the sixth inning against Pittsburgh. And they just took it off, so that must have killed the perfect game. Spoke it into existence. Yanni back to work. Righty-righty matchup. Down 2-0. The pitch on the way. Swung on, grounded. Just fouled down the third baseline. It's 2-1. Mets lead the Cardinals 3-1 in the fifth. Colorado and the White Sox just got underway. The rest of the action later on. Cubs beat the Royals earlier today. Red Sox over the Yankees. The 2-1 pitch swung on. That ball's going to get laced just over the leaping glove of Orlando Arcia. It's going to get down for a base hit. Another run coughed up by Yanni Chirinos, and it's 4-2 San Francisco. Orlando Arcia made a heck of an effort. Skied up to try to make that catch. He really had no shot, but it was an impressive effort. Four to 2 your score. The pitch on the way. Right there for a strike. It's 0-1. So it's bad enough he's given up 4 runs. You got 2 on, 2 out. At the top of the order, Manu has already taken him deep. The 0-1 pitch swung on. That ball's hammered down the first base line right at Matt Olson. An atom ball will get us out of the inning. So the Giants put 2 more on the board. We'll grab the sticks. Be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
POV, I'm just trying to go about my life, and someone actually says, do you have a CDL for that dump truck in real life?
But instead of Jimmy the Greek, we're going to have to go with Peter the Irishman today.
Hi, my buddy Jimmy the Greek is on the injured reserve list today, so I'm going to tell you who's going to win all the NFL games and the World Series. But don't run to your phone because a year ago I said it would be the Phillies.
Got him! Got him!
Trigger an entire fan base with only one sentence.
Des Bryant didn't catch that ball. That should do it.
I see football on the TV.
First preseason game?
No. No. Oh, it's starting. No.
Armchair.
Well, the season's finally here, and the players hit.
The Armchair Quarterbacks are back. Saturdays, 10 a.m., you'll be tailgating with the Armchair Quarterbacks. Mac Magee, Joey and Tones, and the rest of the Armchair Quarterbacks live, 10 a.m. Saturdays this fall. Talking college football, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, the NFL, fantasy football advice, and our picks against the spread. Right here on Braves Country HD, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
Yeah, the All-American man.
I think what baseball is a game that allows people who watch it to think about nothing else. It allows us to feel connected to a place. So part of what American history is texture, it's fabric, it's Brooklyn, it's Boston. But sadly, part of what American history is and part of what baseball is moving away from those places. So Brooklyn leaves and goes to California, and the free agents take away our favorite players. And America's always mobile, always moving on.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is down in the way for a ball. It's 1-0. I guess the only good thing that came out of that inning is Logan Webb sat on the pine for quite some time, so maybe he'll come out cold. The 1-0 pitch swung on and tapped foul off the plate. It's 1-1. Braves trail by 2. Still a long way to go in this one, and it feels like a game that's going to be a seesaw affair. The 1-1 from Webb. Righty matchup. Pitch on the way. Just grabs the bottom part of the zone on the outer edge. It's 1-2. Good slider by Jacob Webb. Logan Webb. I'm thinking of our old reliever. As soon as I said it, I was like, that doesn't sound right. The 1-2 pitch. Swing! And that ball's lifted high and deep into right field. Right there making the catch at the warning track just before the wall is Conforto for out number 1. He gave that thing a ride. A little more to the left, and it would have been down for extra bases. So 1 down, and Eddie Rosario come to the plate. Eddie, 1-for-1 with an RBI, a double. He sawed off a pitch on the outer edge and just sent it to left field last time up. The first pitch on the way to Eddie is off the plate. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch swung on and pops it back foul. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch down below the knees. 2-1. The 2-1 offering to Eddie. Low strike called. Eddie doesn't like it. It did look low, but he's been low and he's been wide on the strike zone all night long. Just can't take that if it's with 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and went fishing for that one. Barely got a piece of it. Maybe a stitch or two to stay alive. We'll do it again at 2-2. Yeah, I was checking, but evidently Logan is not related to Jacob. The 2-2 pitch swung on, taps it foul off the plate. Do it again at 2-2. I, for one, am not excited about tomorrow's home plate umpire, but I don't think they're going to listen. The 2-2 pitch. Off the plate wide, 3-2. I will say this: there's been a couple of guys this year that I'll take Angel Hernandez over. There have been a few of them that I cringe when I see them on the docket. 3-2 pitch swung on and lifted into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And Eddie Rosario fought to stay alive. And he's on with 1 on and 1 out. And Travis d'Arnaud coming to the plate. Good piece of hitting by Eddie. Just hung in there with it. Talked about that in the pregame shows. Reason why he was my pick to click is that if he could get a couple of those sinkers underneath him, it's exactly what he did in last night's game. That RBI single last night looked just like the one he had right there, where he just got underneath it and shot it to center field. First pitch to Travis d'Arnaud is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch swung on and pops it back foul over the first base dugout side. 0-2. Just 10 away if you can smash that like. Braves trail 4-2. One swing would tie it here. But if d'Arnaud could put one into the gap, we could cut this lead in half. You got an 0-2 to d'Arnaud. RC on deck, the pitch on the way. Good take by Travis. TDA now down 1-2. The 1-2 pitch Swing, and that ball's rifled into right field. It's going to get down where the green grass grows, up against the wall. They're going to send Eddie Rosario. He's rounding third. He's heading home. The Braves score. It's 4-3. Travis d'Arnaud gave us what the doctor ordered, a shot in the gap. And the lead cut into half. Good piece of hitting by Travis d'Arnaud. When I think of Travis d'Arnaud coming through in big spots, that's the exact spot he normally shoots the ball. You try to pitch him with a sinker on the outside, he will slam it. Remember that home run he hit in the World Series was a similar pitch. So 4-3 your score. Orlando Arcia comes to the plate. Pitch on the way to Orlando just grabs the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Orlando 0 for 1. Boy, howdy is he due. Been sitting on 13 home runs for a hot minute. The 0-1 pitch inside 1-1. A base hit would tie this game up in all likelihood unless it was smoked to the corner outfielder. The 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, good take, 2-1. So the one thing you're seeing the second time through the lineup, the Braves are seeing his off-speed pitches really adjusted well. That's one thing you can say about the Braves offense this year. They really do a great job that second time through. Got to tip your cap to hitting coach Seitzer. The 2-1 pitch swung on, grounded over to short. d'Arnaud's got to stay put. It's a 6-3 put out for out number 2. Two down. And little Nicky will come to the plate. Nicky Lopez in an 0 for drought. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch on the way. Right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. We do have action in the Braves bullpen. Looks like Brad Hand is getting warm. The 0-1 to Lopez. Swing! And that ball is going to be grounded over to second. It's going to be another easy 4-3 put out. That'll end the inning. But up before the Braves cut the lead in half. We'll head to break. And it looks like we could get a pitching change sooner than later.
What does it take to break you? What does it take to break your focus because you get frustrated about what happened on the last play? What does it take to make you give in? What does it take to break you? It's going to be difficult because you're getting yourself ready to play an entire season at a high level.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Down. Here's Tua stepping back, loads up, looks long, throws, end zone, touchdown! Alabama! Devontae Smith! Touchdown, Alabama! And the Crimson Tide has once again ascended to the top of the college football mountain. Again, it's going to be Crapel, wing, and the kicker, Drew Alamo. LSU remains undefeated. Passes away, penalty flag down. Lamar Thomas has got it. Lamar Thomas is on his way down the sideline. George Teague is after him and runs him down. Takes the ball away from him. Teague's got the ball. Well, congratulations to the LSU Tigers, the 2008 BCS National Champion.
Armchair.
SEC!
Roger Connor of the New York Giants was the era's greatest home run hitter. He smashed 138 during his career, a record which would stand until Babe Ruth came along.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@Braves Country. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. I can't think of a better reason to hit this one. Now we haven't hit the 100 yet. We're still 4 down, but Yanni cheering us is out of the game. Brad Hand's coming in. Brad Hand will come in and try his luck against the Giants lineup. Here's hoping that's the last time we see Yanni start for the Atlanta Braves. I've said all along I don't mind keeping him on as a long man in the bullpen in September to eat innings, but my word. There's a reason why he got DFA'd by Tampa Bay. The first pitch on the way from Hand is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Speaking of that, did y'all see that Paul DeJong was DFA'd already by the Toronto Blue Jays? The 1-0 pitch, right there for a strike, 93 on the outer edge. It's 1-1. He came over in the trade on trade deadline day from St. Louis to Toronto. Let me read you the stats for it real quick. This is a trip. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Toronto Blue Jays DFA Paul DeJong 18 days after trading for him. He went 3 for 44 with no walks in that time span. The 1-2 pitch just misses off the edge and held up. It's 2-2. He'll probably get picked up by the Dodgers and catch fire, and the rest will be history. The 2-2 pitch. On the way, just misses. Ball 3-2. If you're wondering how the Braves could pick up a guy like DeJong, because he's in the American League, literally would have to be the last team grabbing him. The 3-2 pitch. Caught looking, strike 3. He got caught watching the paint dry, and there's one away. Backwards K, you can hang him. Just threw a P on the outside part of the plate. Never had a chance. So the way the waiver system works, I had someone ask me this the other day, and as the first pitch on the way to Wilmer Flores, it swung on and missed top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. So the short of it is, if it was a team in the National League, the Braves, because they have the best record in the National League, is the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, that ball's belted high, deep down the left field line. Is it fair? It is just foul. Loud, long strike. It's 0-2. If you played in the National League, you would have to wait for every team in the National League, and then the Braves could grab them. If it's a player that played in the American League, it's got to go through the entire Major League Baseball, and because the Braves have the best record in baseball, they would have the last dibs. So if there's a guy there to pick up, there's a good chance you don't want him anyways, because it means everybody passed on him. The 0-2 to Flores. Brad Hand goes back to work, kicks and deals. Sweeper just misses on the outer edge. It's 1-2. Since that is the 1-2 pitch, misses down and away. 2-2. If you're wondering about Nicky Lopez, is the 2-2 pitch. Swing, and that ball's hit over to the shortstop. Arceus got it, fires it over to first, and it's a 6-3 putout for out number 2. Nicky Lopez, who was on fire at the beginning when he joined the Braves, is since 0 for 11. Now, it's not something that I think Atlanta's worried about, because they're more concerned with him giving them a good glove. But you wonder how many at-bats they may give Vaughn Grissom next week. Lefty-lefty matchup. Jock Peterson comes to the plate. He takes a hack at the first pitch and fouls it away. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Peterson. Braves trail 4-3, top of the fifth inning. Hand lets it fly. Swing and a miss. 93 got right on top of him. It's 0-2. Hand has kind of that slow delivery, that deliberate delivery, and the ball just kind of flies out of his hand. I think it really sneaks up on lefties. The 0-2 pitch, Darno sets up outside. Pitch on the way, misses low and away. 95, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Lets it fly, just misses outside. Ball 2, 2-2. You got a 2-2 count. Lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. Swung on and rolls foul towards the dugout. We'll do it again at 2-2. Thank you for smashing those likes. We'll take the sign down. The rest of the way, get that screen a little bigger too so you can see what's going on. Even better. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. That ball is lifted into left field. A sliding catch by Eddie Rosario, and the Atlanta Braves will head to the bottom of the fifth inning, trailing by just 1 run. We'll be back in a flash here, Braves country.
There's that chirping again. How are you not hearing that? Newsflash! I've been hearing it the entire damn time! Then why would you say something? Because I hate you!
Today we're going to go over some wild baseball coincidences that you won't believe are true. Minnesota's Metrodome hosted 8 World Series games in its history. In all 8 of those games, Terry Pendleton's team lost. The Cardinals lost 4 in the 1987 World Series, and the Braves lost 4 in the 1991 World Series. Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse, had his first career home run on September 27, 1923. His last home run would come exactly 15 years later on September 27, 1938. Warren Spahn had a longer streak of hitting at least 1 home run than he did pitching at least 1 shutout. He had homers in 17 consecutive seasons, but only had shutouts in 15 consecutive seasons. There have only been 2 pitchers in Major League Baseball history with the name Moyer. Ed Moyer, who pitched 6 games for the Senators, who died on November 18, 1962, and Jamie Moyer, who pitched 25 years in the majors and was born on that same day, November 18, 1962. Dennis Eckersley picked off Kenny Williams on June 29, 1987. His next pickoff would occur almost 4 years later when he picked off, you guessed it, Kenny Williams again.
On April 20th, 1912, 2 months before the cornerstone was laid for Ebbets Field, Fenway Park opened its doors for the first time. The Red Sox beat the New York Highlanders that afternoon 7-6 in 11 innings, beginning one of the most intense rivalries in baseball. And then they went on to win the pennant and the series, setting a precedent that did not last for long. Tris Speaker once owned its center field. Smokey Joe Wood and Babe Ruth and Roger Clemens have all bewildered batters there. Ted Williams, who sharpened his eye by shooting the pigeons that flew over the outfield, hit so many home runs into the right field bullpen that players came to call it Williamsburg.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trailed by 1 run. The first pitch on the way for Ronald Acuna Jr. is going back on the track. Is it gone? It is gone! Ram-a-lam-a ding-dong, a solo shot, and your Atlanta Braves have tied this bad boy up. It's 4-4. Hot Atlanta back in the game. First pitch swinging. Ronald Acuna Jr. slams it just over the right field wall. Below the chop house, but over the right field wall, and it's 4-4. Michael Harris, the second, takes a hack at the first pitch and bangs it foul down the line. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch, down and in, 1-1. Ronald Acuna Jr.'s home run, 362 happy feet, 105 miles an hour off the bat. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, that ball's lifted into left field, and it is going to be caught, running catch by Jock Peterson for out number 1. He absolutely blasted that ball. Good to see Ronnie get into one. He'd had a couple of hard luck outs the last few nights. Ones he'd hit the ball well, it just went right into the glove of someone. So a tie game, a new game. Austin Riley comes to the plate, and the first pitch is swung on and tapped foul off the plate. It's 0-1. Home plate umpire DJ Rayburn dusting off home plate, so there's a little break in the action. The 0-1 pitch on the way, just off the plate wide, 1-1. The 1-1 swung on and fouled down the line, sawed off down the line. It's 1-2. So you got a 1-2 count to Riley. Pitch on the way. Tried to get him to chase the slider off the dish. Evens up the count at 2-2. Ronald Acuna Jr.'s 28th home run of the 2023 season. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses off the plate and called, looking strike 3. That was a poor call by home plate umpire DJ Rayburn, but he's been pretty iffy at best for the entire night. Going to have to deal with that, and Riley and the rest are going to have to realize if there's 2 strikes, you're going to have to swing at anything close to the zone like that. First pitch on the way to Olsen is right there at the knees for a strike. Down and away, it's 0-1. If you're listening on radio, you're wondering, it was definitely a poor call. He's been up and down all night long. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 93 right down the pipe on the outer edge. It's 0-2. In a few years, when we have robo-umps, you'll hear them complain and clamor, and nobody's going to want to hear it anymore. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and tapped foul off the plate. We'll do it again. If you would have asked me, in fact, I know it came up on our talk show 5-6 years ago about robo-umps. I didn't like the idea of taking the human element out of it, but now I'm over it. The 0-2 pitch just misses off the plate and away, 1-2. Thing about that pitch that he just called a ball to Olsen is the 1-2 pitch misses outside wide, 2-2. That pitch was closer to a strike than what the Riley pitch was. So a 2-2 count. Webb deals in the dirt, 3-2. Good take by Olsen. You got a full count. Braves have tied it up here in the bottom of the 5th. If you're just joining us, it has been a seesaw affair. The payoff pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. We'll do it again. Giants scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Braves tied it up at 2 in the bottom of the second. Giants scored 2 in the fourth. The Braves have scored 1 in the fourth and 1 in the 5th. The 3-2 pitch just below the knees called for a low strike 3. And I can guarantee you, like a pinball, Matt Olson's eyes have got to be rolling back in his head as he heads towards the dugout. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball. We've tied it up here on a Saturday night.
You know those nights where you just do not feel like drinking? Well, tonight's not one of those nights. We're getting cheers.
What the the hell did you trade Jay Buhner for? He had 30 home runs and over 100 RBIs last year. He's got a rocket for an arm. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Today, we hop into our MLB time machine and talk about baseball first. On May 2nd, 1876, Ross Barnes hit the first home run in baseball history in the top of the fifth inning against Cincinnati pitcher Cherokee Fisher. On July 15th, 1876, St. Louis Brown stocking pitcher George Bradley would be the first to do something. He threw a no-hitter. On September 10th, 1881, Roger Connor did something that wouldn't be done again until Babe Ruth did it again in 1925. He hit the first walk-off grand slam. Paul Hines put his name in the history books for being the first Major League Baseball player to wear sunglasses on the field. He also had two other firsts. He was baseball's first Triple Crown, and he performed the game's first unassisted triple play. New York Giants player Mickey Welch made history on August 10th, 1889, when he pinch hit for his injured teammate Hank O'Day.
What do you guys want?
Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese on a hard roll with a side order of fries, cheese, and gravy, and a bowl of gravy on the side.
I'll have the same thing plus pancakes.
Chocolate milk?
You know it, honey.
And I'll make it two.
I'll have an egg white omelet made with very little oil, dry wheat toast, and grapefruit juice.
Oh, my God.
You know, in Massachusetts, that order could legally marry a dude.
All right, here it comes.
You know, just placing an order like that gets you kicked out of the Army. Now, if you put a construction helmet on that order, it could join the village people.
Would you knock me down a flight of stairs for $4 million?
I'd do it for a $5 scratch-off and a bag of Doritos.
Over the years, the struggles of the Boston Red Sox would provide some of the most dramatic and heartbreaking action the game would ever see. And on October 21st, 1975, Fenway Park would witness the greatest game in World Series history, a game that rekindled the whole country's love of baseball.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way to Conforto is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Brad Hand back out there to face Conforto. The 1-0 pitch swung on, dropped into right field, down for a base hit. The Giants have the leadoff runner on here in the top of the sixth inning. See how long he goes with Brad Hand. With Conforto getting that base hit. It looks like, yep, that'll do it. So he was leaving him in to face the lefty one more time. Pierce Johnson is coming out of the pen. We'll be back in a flash.
She's a 10, but her favorite football team sucks.
That would more than likely make her a Florida Gators fan.
You know, obviously when a guy is there that long and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, I mean, dude's career 300 hitter with all the accolades that he's gotten, and he came up with the Braves. The way I look at it is the dude has done so much for Atlanta, and like I said, Hall of Famer. I would be upset as a Braves fan growing up, and as a guy who plays for the team who I want good fans, if they were just like kicked him out the door. You know,
yeah, right.
I'm happy that they love Freddie, and he's always been super nice to me. So, you know, I just think they respect what he did for the city, as they should. I mean, I grew up watching Freddie when he first came up. I respect what he did as a Brave. So it's not like it's any sort of rift there. And he's, like I said, he's always been super good to me, and I hear great things about him from the guys.
Armchair.
What's your best pitch?
My best pitch is a strike. A sinking fastball down and away from a right-handed hitter. Thereby, he thinks it's a good pitch. At the last minute, it sinks. He hits the top half of the ball, and he hits a ground ball one away. And you do that 3 times or 27 times in a ball game, make perfect sinkers, you'll get 27 outs. Unless the hitters are smart, and then what they do is they know it's a sinker, they get up and they drive the ball to right center field, and that's called a double. And then the pitcher has to run behind third base and back it up. And hopefully they get the guy out at third, or it's a triple. And then you got to run at third in less than 2 outs. So they bring the infield in, and you don't want them to hit a sinker now. You got to strike them out. So then you go to a cross-seam fastball, which I don't have.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way from Pierce Johnson to Davis is swung on, and that ball's dropped into right field, and that's a single, and they got runners on first and second, nobody out. Quick 2 first pitch swinging. The Giants have the go-ahead run in scoring position. So that'll bring Sable to the plate. Sable, first pitch on the way. Check swing. Went around, curveball right there, teardrop at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Johnson lets it fly in the dirt. 1-1. The strange thing about pulling hand there, and it may just be a pitch count thing, whatever, but Davis, the right-hander was there, but after that you had the lefty Sable, and Camargo's a much better hitter from the left side than the right. The 1-1 pitch. Top of the zone, first strike. It's 1-2. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. The 1-2 count. Pierce Johnson lifts the glove and lets it fly. Swing, and that ball's right up the middle off the diving glove of Orlando Arcia, and the bases are going to be loaded with nobody out. Michael Harris II was quick to get to the ball, and the runner at second had to hold up because he thought the ball might be caught. The ball ricocheted off the glove of Arcia. I mean, just a hair quicker there, and he's probably doubled off. Just off the edge of the webbing of Arcia's glove. So bases loaded, nobody out, and Camargo at the plate. The first pitch on the way is a curveball down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Camargo 0 for 1. The 1-0 swing, and taps it foul down the in between home and first towards the first base dugout near the camera well. 1-1. Four your score. Top of the sixth. Nobody out. Pierce Johnson lets it go. Swung on, grounded over to second. Lopez has it, fires it to second, and it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. The run will score, but you've got a runner on third now and 2 outs. The rest of the bases are clear, and the Braves trail by just 1. Giants are looking to see if they may want to challenge this. They say that they do, so we'll see what happens here. We know Camargo can fly, and that was a long double play to try to turn. Looking at the replay here, he might have beat it. It's really close. Almost looks like tie go to the runner type play. Need to see one that's really slowed down. It is, I mean, a hair close. You almost got to slow it down like the Zapruder film. If he got him, it was by an eyelash. They've got the capability to slow it down a little bit more in New York. He might have, just got him if he got him. I think looking at it, that last angle that I saw it hit the webbing, and then Camargo's foot just touched the base. I don't think they're going to win this one, but I've given up on that. It is about time to turn back time. We'll try to squeeze these in as we go along here on Braves Country Baseball, but before we do that, we want to find out what happened here. It looks like he just got him. And it's really difficult. One of the angles they keep showing, Olsen's leg is blocking where his foot would have hit. So we'll have to wait to see what New York says. Regardless, the Giants will have a 1-run lead. It's 5-4, top of the sixth. If you took the over and you're in pretty good shape, the over-under tonight was 9.5. They will confirm it as an out. Double play. Just barely got him. I mean, it was an eyelash. Pretty good challenge by manager Kapler, because if he gets that challenge overturned, they could be in store for a big inning. But instead, runner on third, 2 outs. Camargo is sent to the bench, and it's the right-handed bat of Tyro Estrada, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Pierce Johnson trying to stop the bleeding. The first pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Curveball down below the knees. It's 0-1. One of my favorite players of all Major League Baseball history on our turn back time today. The 0-1 pitch. Kicks and fire, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 curveballs and 2 whiffs. It's 0-2. When he's got that curveball really sending down and in, especially when he's got 2 strikes on someone, it's got to be impossible to lay off of. The 0-2 from Johnson. Pitch on the way. Swung on and grounded. Just foul down the third base line. Do it again at 0-2. Runner at third. 2 outs. Braves trail by 1 once again. Braves have yet to lead the game, but they keep coming back and tying it. It's like a great heavyweight bout, answering blow for blow. The 0-2 from Johnson. Righty-righty matchup. Darnode sets up on the outer cut. The pitch on the way, swung on and right in his kitchen. 97 up top. Fastest fastball he has thrown in quite some time. We'll do it again at 0-2. Braves defense is playing back. In a pretty honest defense, a tad shaded to the left. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him with that curveball that just dove off the edge of the plate. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Can you tell me where I can find extension cords?
Aisle 25.
I was just there.
26.
There is no 26.
15.
He was comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. He was a good 2-strike hitter. A lot of hitters aren't comfortable with 2 strikes, you know. Then they go into emergency mode. They don't want to strike out. That used to be the old mindset. Nowadays, as Pete said, they go up there hacking. That's a pitcher's dream. Is a guy that
Atlanta Braves had 4 guys on their team last year struck over 150 times. Now, we all know Mike Trout may be the best player in baseball, correct? Everybody agree with that? He struck out 184 times last year. That's once every 3 at-bats. He was MVP in the American League. You know, I don't want to say no one threw hard, but he could throw a damn ball through a car wash and not get it wet.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
You know what? Even if you killed somebody, I wouldn't turn you in.
Is that so? Hey, if I killed somebody, would you turn me in?
Definitely.
You're kidding.
No, I would turn you in.
You would turn me in? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're supposed to be a friend of mine.
Well, what kind of person are you going around killing people?
Well, I'm sure I had a good reason.
Yeah, well, if you'll kill this person, who's to say I wouldn't be next?
But you know me.
I thought I did.
I will say that I've had thrills before, number of them. Something like hitting a home run in Chicago that time. The Lord was with me when I called the shots. I can't go on forever. Somebody's got to take my shoes and take my place. But you can bet your sweet life that I won't play until I drop, but I'll play until I damn near drop. Thank you.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Braves trail by 1 again. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Marcell Ozuna steps in. The first pitch is swung on and grounded down the third baseline foul. It's 0-1. On this date in 1900, Rube Waddell throws 2 complete games in the Western League as Milwaukee sweeps doubleheader from the White Sox 2-1 and 1-0. The 0-1 pitch to Marcell off the plate wide. 1-1. Skipper Connie Mack coaxes the colorful southpaw, who threw 17 innings in the first game, to pitch in the second game as the 1-1 pitch to Marcel misses away 2-1. Promises him a few days off to go fishing to pitch the nightcap as he hurls a 5-inning no-hitter. Oh, one-hitter, excuse me. The 2-1 pitch swung on, and that ball is lifted into left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. It's down, and Marcell Ozuna has led the bottom of the sixth off with a single, and your Atlanta Braves got something cooking here in hot Atlanta. Good piece of hitting by Marcell. Sinker that came in and didn't sink, and he turned on it and served it into left field. So 1 on, nobody out, and Eddie Rosario, who's 2 for 2, comes to the plate. The first pitch to Eddie, off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. On this date in 1917, the first Major League game in New York on a Sunday, the Reds beat the New York Giants at the Polo Grounds 5-0. The 1-0 pitch just grabs the outside part of the zone, down and away. Low, wide strike. It's 1-1. After the contest, managers Johnny McGraw and Christy Mathewson are arrested for violating blue laws prohibiting play of the national pastime on the Sabbath. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled away. It's 1-2. So with 2 strikes, Rosario takes his timeout, gets back in. Webb now at 88 pitches. The 1-2 pitch swung on and slaps the back of the screen behind home plate. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Runner on first. Nobody out. Pitch on the way. Swing! And that ball is going to get laced into right field, down for a base hit. And Marcell Ozuna will stop at second base, but your Atlanta Braves have runners on first and second. Nobody out. And the TDA retirement plan coming to the plate. Travis d'Arnaud, who's already drove in a run, coming up with nobody out. Wonder how much longer they'll keep Webb in there. Even he's looking over to the dugout. I think he's about to call time to call himself out. Hit the scoreboard real quick. Philly beat Washington 12-3. The first pitch on the way. Travis d'Arnaud swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. Milwaukee beat the Texas Rangers once again 6-1, really putting it on Texas this weekend. Tampa Bay drops the first game of a doubleheader to the Angels 7-6. The 0-1 pitch swung on and slapped foul back behind home plate. It's 0-2. Cubs 6-4 over Kansas City. That's a final. Dodgers beat the Marlins 3-1. Boston 8-1 over the Yankees. Garrett Cole was on the mound for New York. Webb's going to step off the mound for a second. You got an 0-2 count to d'Arnaud. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. The 0-2 pitch. Kicks and fires, caught looking, strike 3. That was right down the pipe. d'Arnaud just couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. Must have been looking for the soft stuff, and there's one away. On this date in 1941, quote, all my players are going to get pneumonia because of you, Jocko. You haven't got the guts to call this game, Frankie Frisch, the manager of the Pirates, shouting his displeasure from the dugout. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia, swing and a miss, strike. It's 0-1. During the second game of a doubleheader at Ebbets Field, Jocko Conlon ejects Frankie Frisch when the Pirates manager appears on the field with an umbrella protesting the play conditions at Brooklyn's ballpark at Ebbets Field. The 0-1 pitch swung on, hit over to second, and this is going to be an easy 4-6-3 double play, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves threaten but fail to score. Trail by 1. We're heading to the top of the 7th inning.
I feel so bad about lying. How am I going to make it up to him?
I tell you what I do, but I don't think dressing up like a Catholic schoolgirl is going to work.
He probably give you homework.
Today we're going to talk about crazy stats. Lou Gehrig hit his first career home run on September 27th, 1923. He hit his final home run on September 27th, 1938. In total, he hit 5 home runs on September 27th. 2 of those came off of Hall of Famer Lefty Grove in 1931 and 1933.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Though Ty Cobb and the Washington Senators star pitcher Walter Johnson were the decade's greatest players, the host of other stars vied for an adoring public's attention. Tris Speaker was Harry Hooper's teammate, the Boston Red Sox regal center fielder, a former rodeo cowboy whose fans called him the Gray Eagle. He transformed outfield play. He played so shallow that he often recorded unassisted double plays at second base. He threw out a record 35 American League base runners in a single season twice. During a slump in 1910, he was asked by his manager to give up his cherished third spot in the batting order. Like hell I will, he said, and ended the season the Red Sox best hitter.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. We are heading to the top of the 7th inning. Braves trail by just 1. Been a seesaw battle all night long. AJ Minter comes into the game here in the top of the 7th. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way from Minter to Wade, who's 1 for 3 with the home run. He's down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. AJ Minter, 4.28 ERA on the year. The 1-0 pitch just crosses the belt over the plate for a strike. It's 1-1. Back to that date in 1941 where Frankie Frisch got ejected from the Pirates dugout for yelling at the ump, saying he didn't have the guts to call the game because of rain. As the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. It's a strike. It's 1-2. The rainy day incident inspires the Norman Rockwell famous oil painting, Bottom of the Sixth. If you're not familiar with the name of it, I'm sure you've seen the picture before. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball's hit into the gap into left field. Cutting it off is Rosario, just under the glove of Orlando Arcia. And Wade's on with the second hit of the night. 1 on, nobody out. The 1 on, nobody out. Gabe Kapler is going to come out and talk to, I think the trainer's looking at Wade. Maybe it's almost like he's favoring his side after getting to first base. I don't know if it was during the swing. So they'll look at Wade for a second. And if you're not familiar with what I'm referring to of that painting that was painted by Norman Rockwell in 1941 in that incident. There it is on your screen. You've probably seen it, just didn't know the name of it. So I think they're going to take Wade out of the game. Looks like it might be more precautionary because he looks like he doesn't want to come out, but they'll probably put speed on the base paths and then possibly switch up defensively in the next inning. As they head over for looks like it's going to be it's Schmidt that comes on. Casey Schmidt will be the pinch runner. Casey Schmidt normally plays shortstop. Not familiar with whether or not he can play first or not, so we'll just have to see how that unfolds next inning. So Casey Schmidt now on first, nobody out, as Wade lifted for injury, or could just be precautionary reasons. The first pitch on the way from Minter, down and away, changeup misses. It's 1-0. The 1-0 from Minter, swing and lifts it high, deep down the right field line, just goes foul. 1-1. On this date, 1982, if you're a Braves fan from way back, you'll remember this famous incident. Hard to believe it's 41 years ago today. Pascual Perez misses his start for the Braves when he gets lost on I-285 trying to find his way to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 95 on the outer edge. It's 1-2. The 25-year-old right-hander, who will be called I-285 by his teammates for quite some time, finally gets to the ballpark about 10 minutes after the game starts. Remember hearing that story so many times growing up. Minter flips it over to first to keep Schmidt close by. And on this date in 2007, another Braves turn back time, John Smoltz becomes the Braves' all-time strikeout leader when he gets third baseman Mark Reynolds on strikes. Is the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Speaking of strikeouts, big strikeout there for A.J. Minter, and there's one away. John Smoltz strikeout of Mark Reynolds, his 2,913th victim. Phil Niekro had previously established the franchise record pitching for the club in Milwaukee and Atlanta for 20 seasons. First pitch on the way from Minter to Flores is right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 0-1. And that's your turn back time for August 19th in the world of baseball. The 0-1 pitch misses away outside. So a 1-1 count to Flores. Runner on first, one out. The pitch swung on, grounded over to Riley. Riley's got it, flips it over to second. Lopez has it, fires it to first, and it's a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. ACC football covered like no other here on Braves Country HD.
Reggie Gillespie dives into the end zone. The winning. All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. Oh, 1, 2, 3. We out to the ball. We out to the find me something up and crack her down. I don't care. I am yes, I go with root for it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3, stretch around and be home. ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me through. You sound better tonight.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Tyler Rogers comes to the hill. And we've got a Vaughn Grissom sighting, baby. How about that? Vaughn Grissom comes into the game. You got to love to see that. Vaughn Grissom will face Tyler Rogers. The first pitch on the way to Rogers, from Rogers, is a side-winding pitch right there at the knees. First strike, it's 0-1. Vaughn Grissom, I bet he's thinking to himself, y'all sure picked a hell of a time to put me in. The 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded over to second, busting it down the line, and Grissom just out by a half step, and there's one away. Why in the world, when they bring a side-winder righty, is that the time that you bring Grissom in? You would think they would have let Lopez face the side-winding right-hander from the left side of the plate. Anyways, also found it odd that Vaughn Grissom's A on his helmet was sideways. First pitch on the way to Ronald Acuna Jr. is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. You'll notice that there's a couple of Rogers here for the Giants. They are brothers. The 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded up the middle. It's going to be an easy 6-3 put out. And there's quickly 2 away. So 2 down. That'll bring Michael Harris II to the plate. We'll see what a left-hander can do with this. For those of y'all listening on radio, Michael Harris II is facing a sidewinder that, I mean, he's throwing that ball almost a submarine-type pitcher from the third base side. First pitch on the way, zips it in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Braves trail by 1. The 0-1 pitch. On the way. Right there for a strike. 0-2. So it's an 0-2 count to Michael. He asked for time. Giants are playing the defense pretty honest up the middle. Shaded a bit to the right. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Absolutely fooled him on that one. We'll be back in a flash. Braves trail by just 1 run. Don't go anywhere.
Yellow. What delay industries?
Now
you're way off. No problem. How did you know who they wanted?
Hey, Braves fans. I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long, giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5. And we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country Baseball right here on the key.
How can 6 of you miss a play like that? All 6 of you. The ball jumped out of there as soon as we made contact. And nobody. I thought you were talking about you being on the field. No. What?
Hey folks, this is Mark White with The Mark White Show, and you can tune into The Mark White Show every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on Rock 99, WQEE The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk.
Baseball has nearly all the qualities and the narrative that the country has. It's competitive. It's spirited. It's got the joshing, and it's got the intellectual side, the great students of it. But it's also got labor unions and management and gimmicks and promotion and venality, great public fools in baseball, and great public heroes, and self-serving people and generous people. And it has pride and unity of town and of country, and it'll do for a figure for the American system.
Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trail by 1 heading to the top of the 8th inning. Braves riding 4-game winning streak. Taking 6 of 7 from New York last week, or the past calendar week. Kirby Yates will come to the mound. First pitch on the way to Jock Peterson is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 to Jock. Down below the knees, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Righty-lefty matchup. Down below the knees, ball 3-0. So you got a 3-0 count to Peterson. Conforto stands on deck. And the pitch on the way, ball 4. So 4-pitch walk to start here in the 8th inning. Atlanta Braves will play the Giants tonight, and then it's finish this lengthy homestand will be against the Mets once again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it's off to the left coast for a long road trip. The first pitch on the way is swung on and swatted into right field. Coming in, making the catch is Acuna, and there's one away. One down. J.D. Davis comes to the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a single, a double, a run scored, an RBI. Braves' magic number coming into today was 28 for the division, 37 for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They came into tonight's action 12.5 in front of Miami, 16 in front of, or 12 in front of Philly, 16 in front of Miami, 23 in front of New York, and 24 in front of Washington. 4 in front of the Dodgers and 4.5 in front of Baltimore. Dodgers were playing 2 today, just like the Angels, because of the hurricane coming in. The 0-1 pitch misses high and inside, 1-1. J.D. Davis. Righty-righty matchup. A splitter could get us out of this one with a double play. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 95 inside. It's 1-2. Braves still have 2 more at bats, and the only inning that the Braves have scored almost as much in the first as the eighth. They lead Major League Baseball in most runs scored in the first and eighth inning. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 down. Kirby Yates try to get through Blake Sable, then hand it over to the Braves bats. The first pitch on the way is a swing and a miss to Sable. It's 0-1. When you lead the league in runs scored in the first, gives you a big leg up. And then I can't think of a better inning to lead the league in outside of that than the eighth. Because it's going to be difficult if you have the best record in baseball to lead it in the ninth, because you don't bat a lot of times in the ninth. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss upstairs. It's 0-2. If the Braves do drop this game, I think they'll point to a couple innings ago where we had runners on first and second, nobody out, and just could not get anything done. A strikeout and a double play put the end to that. So Yates has an 0-2 count. Runner on first. 2 outs. Raises the glove. Pauses and then zips it towards the plate. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Go grab some pine. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. The Braves trail by just 1 run.
Triple decker burn!
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Now Don Mattingly, an emerging star. Mattingly last year was called up by the Yankees from Columbus the day Bobby Mercer retired. He'd been with them prior to that, but had been sent out. And he's not only won a spot on the roster, he's in the lineup, he's hitting third, and he's leading the league at .338. Randolph at first base. That's drilled to the gap in right center field, and it is off the fence. Randolph was running all the way, so he is being waved in. Whitaker's going to Parrish, is not in time on a double by Mattingly.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
In 1856, a British-born music teacher and enthusiastic cricketer named Henry Chadwick saw the Knickerbockers play the New York Gothams and became an instant convert to baseball. Chadwick developed the box score, wrote and edited the most popular players' manual, and launched one of the first baseball columns, covering the Knickerbockers and their challengers, the Gothams, Eagles, Empires, Excelsiors, and Atlantics, in the pages of the New York Clipper. And he began keeping comparative statistics so that he could measure one player's performance against another's.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley is a swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. Rogers goes back out there, the sidewinder. The 0-1 pitch, way high out of the zone, 1-1. Standing on deck, Matt Olson, Ozuna in the hole. So the heart of the Braves order right here in the eighth. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, just taps that foul, rolls it towards the third base dugout. It's 1-2. You do wonder if they would allow Rogers to face Olson. You would think probably not, but the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And there's one away. Rogers submarine action. I mean, his hand comes about as close to the mound as any pitcher I've seen in quite some time. He's been in the league for a while, but you don't see him very often. They're going to keep the sidewinder in. The first pitch on the way to Olson is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. So righty-lefty matchup. Rogers has only thrown 11 pitches. That was his 12th. The 0-1 pitch. Lets it fly. Off the plate wide. 1-1. The 1-1 count. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Just out in front of that one, it's 1-2. So a 1-2 count to Olson. He doesn't throw the ball hard, but it's just a very deceptive delivery. The 1-2 to Olson. Swing and banged over towards third. Should be playable. 5-3 put out for out number 2. They had the infield played pretty honestly. If it was the typical shift that they put on Olson, that probably gets through for a base hit. But instead, there's 2 down. Marcell Ozuna comes to the plate. Ozuna, 2 for 3. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. 84-mile-an-hour sinker. The 0-1 pitch. Down and in. 1-1. Braves trail by just 1. The 1-1 count to Ozuna. Swing! And that ball's hammered high and deep down the left field line. Is it fair? Just foul. And I mean just foul. He parked that thing into the seats, maybe 10 feet left of the pole, of the foul pole. High, towering bomb. Ozuna asked for time. You got to figure now that they're going to try to get him to chase off the plate. Usually with 2 strikes, so it's where they try to get Ozuna. And he does have the slider to chase, and they're set up outside. The 1-2 pitch off the plate wide, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Marcell Ozuna, I mean, he just missed that. You could tell it was bending towards that pole, just hoping it would hit it. The 2-2 pitch. Swing, and that ball is rifled up the middle, down for a base hit. Marcell Ozuna's on with 2 outs, and the Braves got something cooking here in the bottom of the 8th. Good piece of hitting by Ozuna. Just rifled it back up the middle. His 3rd hit of the night. Marcell Ozuna, it took him long enough, but putting him back in that 5 hole has really paid dividends for this offense. They're going to pinch run for him. Lucas Williams, who just came up, was called up when Forrest Wall was sent down a few days ago, comes in to pinch run for Ozuna. Probably would not be left in to hit when it comes back around for his time to, but we'll worry about that then. Plenty of options on the bench still available. You got Murphy, you got Pilar. The first pitch to Rosario. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that ball's lifted high and deep. Going back on the track. Zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding-dong. A 2-run blast, and Eddie Rosario has made it 6-5. Your Atlanta Braves. 441 happy feet. 107 miles an hour off the bat of Eddie Rosario. And Eddie makes it 6-5. How about that? Holy cow. Unbelievable. In fact, that ball was hit so hard it froze the San Francisco feed. I got two feeds always going in case one fails. The San Francisco feed froze right after that home run. Braves lead at 6-5. Eyeglasses better get warm in that bullpen. And Rogers gives one up. Talked about in the pregame show on Eddie Rosario why he was my pick to click. First pitch on the way to Travis d'Arnaud's off the plate, high and wide, but called for a wide strike. It's 0-1. He was more referring to his matchup versus Logan Webb, that those down and in pitches from right-handers he can absolutely tattoo, and that's what he got from Rogers. I was really surprised that they didn't go to the bullpen versus Rosario because his pitches just play right into his hand. The 0-2 pitch, way outside wide. For a ball, it's 1-2. The 1-2 from d'Arnaud to d'Arnaud. Down and away, 2-2. 2-2 count. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that ball's fouled down the line. We'll do it again. If you're just joining us, Eddie Rosario just sent a 441-foot bomb to give the Braves a one-run lead. It's been a seesaw battle all night long. Great baseball game all in all by both sides. The Braves take the late lead, and we'll see if we can hold it. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves will go to the bullpen. We'll see if it's eyeglasses or if they go elsewhere. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country Baseball.
I think we should use the manual. I don't need a manual. I need a pair of wire strippers, a hammer, and a beer.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com.
Hey, it's your home, and I need to ask you a few favors. In the kitchen, there's a spider stuck between the window and the screen, and I know it's dead, and technically it's outside, but it's still freaking me out. Can you flick it out or something? Also, just to save some money, and it's super easy, could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico? Last thing, could you take the holiday decorations down? Yeah, I'm one of those.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
You're not sick tonight, are you? Good. Your tongue's going to be hanging out. Tell him to throw up on his own time.
John McGraw would stay in baseball for more than 40 years and become one of the game's greatest managers. But he never stopped fighting, never stopped savaging umpires, and was always willing to do just about anything to win.
Braves Country HD. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Raisel Iglesias coming in from the bullpen, trying to slam that door as the Atlanta Braves lead this one by just one run. He'll face Johan Camargo to start it off. Raisel Iglesias, 3.03 ERA First pitch on the way, right there for a strike, 96 at the kneecaps. It's 0-1. Iglesias has really been heck of a closer to lean on the last part of this second half of the year. You remember the first part of the year, he came off of that injury, much like Joe Jimenez was slow to get going, but ever since then, the 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded up the middle. Here comes Arcia. Arcia's got it, flips it over to first, and it's a 6-3 put out for out number 1. You know these guys aren't going to be perfect, but when they go out there and are just consistent the way Iglesias and Jimenez have been, and Minter's getting close to back to where he was. He's still a little rusty, but I think he'll be fine by postseason. You can't put a price on a hard-throwing lefty. The first pitch on the way to Estrada is right there at the kneecaps for a strike. It's 0-1. Braves lead it by 1. This is the number 9 hitter. Schmidt stands on deck. Remember, he had to come in for Wade, who has the home run of the night for the Giants. He left via injury. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and hammered down the line foul. It's 0-2. So it'll be interesting to see if Schmidt actually hits or if they go to the bench. The 0-2 from Rozelle. Fastball misses top of the zone. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Got him. Strike 3. Got him on the outside corner. He didn't like it, but that's been the call all night long. And I cannot sit here and tell you that that was a strike, but I also can't sit here and tell you he should have taken that, because pitches that had struck out Riley and other guys have been a little farther off the plate. So 2 outs. Braves 1 out away from ending this game and getting DJ Rayburn to some pretty important dinner plans, evidently. The first pitch on the way is a slider off the edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Braves 6, Giants 5. 6 runs, 11 hits for your Atlanta Braves. The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-2. So Schmidt did stay in. They are down to their last strike. Braves trying to rally this game, close the door, and win the series. They'll go for the potential sweep tomorrow at 1:35, Max Fried Day for your Braves. The 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled down the line. We'll do it again. Philadelphia Phillies hammered Washington today. So the magic number could only go down to 27, but considering how many days are left, that is a low, low number. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Braves win. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win. Rozelle Iglesias comes in and slams the door once again, and Atlanta wins it 6-5. 6 runs on 11 hits. No errors. 5 runs, 11 hits. No errors for the San Francisco Giants. Heck of a game by both sides. Really one of those games that it's a shame someone's got to lose, because that was a fun game to do. The Braves win this game and will get their 80th win of the year. The game itself will go down in just over, considering all the scoring, pretty quick and tidy game. They'll do this game in 2 hours and 29 minutes, 28 minutes. Pretty impressive for a game that had all the scoring that they did. Got to give a game ball out, and the game ball's got to go to Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario went absolutely bananas tonight. Rosario goes 4 for 4, a home run, 3 RBIs, and your Atlanta Braves get the 80th win of the year, holding on to a 6-5. Iglesias gets his 24th save. Yates will get the win. He's 7-0, by the way. Can't wait for people to start saying he needs to go into the rotation because he's 7-0. Braves win it 6-5, a sellout, 42,744. That is about 1,600 over capacity, give or take. The game officially ends in 2 hours and 25 minutes, so even quicker than I had said. Braves win. Your Atlanta Braves win 6-5, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. 1:30 first pitch. We'll put the feed up for everybody. Pitch by pitch, play by play. Back Monday for the Mets series. And the Braves are going for a sweep tomorrow. So y'all have a good night, y'all. Braves win it. Go enjoy your Saturday night. The last Saturday without football. How about that? Last Saturday without football till sometime in December. This is the last, and I'm not going to count the goofy practice games because those are a waste of time. Y'all have a good night, y'all. Braves win it. What a great game.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same back time, same back channel.
Thanks for listening to Braves Country Baseball. With Mac Magee, we're proud to bring you year number 3. Braves Country Baseball comes your way Tuesdays and Friday nights and 2 more bonus games for a total of 4 games a week. You can also catch Braves Country, our daily sports talk show. We go live 3 to 5, 99.1 FM WQEE, Metro Atlanta. Other CBS, ESPN, and independent affiliates nationwide, and simulcast on youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Find Braves Country HD today wherever you stream. Your first choice for Southern sports and the deepest bench in sports talk.
Something of the 5th of September. Something of the 5th of September. She said a lot that I can't remember. Something of the 5th. Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah, I know I live to regret it. Just give me another cigarette, please. Can I get another cigarette, please?
Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite kin. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mac. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, closed to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of two X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country baseball right here on the key. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with one inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, Strike two! Fraud! Cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.